Hello and welcome to Tune In with Luke and Amy, the podcast where we discuss your favourite topics, but with our favourite creative people.
And asking them the questions you didn't even know you needed answering. So this is now episode 6, and today we're here with LJ. LJ, introduce yourself.
Hello.
Hi, I'm LJ and I'm 18, currently studying animation at college, and I do music and drama as well.
Oh, very nice.
Wow, such a planned intro
I know.
you had there.
That
was
good. That's
completely on
the
the spot.
best
I'm
one
going to
yet.
be completely honest, that was completely on the spot. I just went,
Well,
so, very good.
panicking, dying inside. So me and LJ, we used to be in the same form at school.
Big up.
Yeah, so we've known each other for like a long time now, like years, like
Well, it's 2 years, 2 years of
7?
college. Yeah, 2 years of college, and then I was in your form for 3 years, so five or six. I
there you
came to
go, 5 or
your-
6
yeah.
years.
I came at the end of year 8.
Yeah. So
I
5 or
got
6 years we've
moved.
known each other for, which is, got relocated with like a few people from your form actually relocated to ours.
We had a few problems with the teacher, so we all just went, we'll leave now. So
Yeah, they moved into my form. We actually used to sit next to each other, didn't we?
Yeah.
Well, like on the same
you
table.
and Alex and
Yeah.
Rio.
And Rio. Oh my god.
Rio, what a name.
It's good, isn't it? That's what I thought.
miss Rio. It's
Thought it
such
was
a
a
good name.
country.
Rio, if he's out there listening to this ever, he is the funniest guy. Like he is so like dry, but in like a funny way. Like he's just kind of like he
So
just
dry.
like shuffles around, doesn't he?
I'd say
And-
he's like timid, and then he would come out with like some really good one-liners. Not dry.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Best
Okay,
people.
well, I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, he would come out with like, he'd be so quiet, and then he would just bring out this banging one-liner, and like it would be
It was
too
brilliant.
funny.
I had a guy in my form exactly the same.
But
So,
yeah,
LJ, my guy, you are a singer, songwriter,
guitarist as well.
guitarist as well.
Developing guitarist. Yes.
Developing guitarist. Okay.
Excellent.
But yeah, I'm the lead singer for my band, The Premiere. Cheeky little plug there.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Plug all you want.
I'm loving it really. We've been a band since October 2018. And
It's a
just
long time
been
ago.
a massive roller coaster. So we started out as a 4-piece at a little wine bar in Aylesbury called Duke's. We did an open mic night as just 4 mates from school, and then our drummer Josh, one of his mates Jed, he was in there as well. And we just did I think it was like a 4-song set list, and the first gig went to absolute shambles. It went.
What happened?
Well, put it this way, performing just vocally is very, very different to performing on stages. So I've been performing on stages, doing drama, musical theatre since I was like 8. But put me on a stage in front of a group of people and just do solely singing, just pure singing, it was like a whole different experience. So
Really?
the first song we did, for some reason we decided to do Heart Eater by XXXTentacion, and it comes in on an offbeat. And I was in my head trying to get it, missed the offbeat and came in late. So we then had to restart the whole song. And it was so embarrassing. So that was a great first gig. But then since then we entered a few competitions, and they were like, this is great, but you need a bassist. This is the one thing you're missing a bassist. Because we had 2 guitars, and sometimes one of the guitarists would play the bass part in like a chord structure. So anyway, we got a bassist in May 2019, and then his first gig ended up being a battle of the bands at Beacon Fest, which is a festival in Oxfordshire in Watlington, which is great fun. And we ended up going on to win, which was cool. And we won a recording day at your place, Luke, XYZ. And a few other prizes, which was brilliant. It was the best. It was
Still
one of
haven't
the
done the
best
recording.
experience. We haven't because of COVID. It has been. We were gonna do it
Delayed.
right, at like this time last year, because we were waiting for after Beacon Fest, which was July, to then to wait to make sure we wanted to get music out. COVID hit, and then everything just got cancelled, which was great.
Yeah.
Damn.
But yes, we won it, which was brilliant. We were so pleased, and it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. And then we did Risborough Festival, which was cool. We've done a few proms and things like that, and then we got approached by a guy, and he asked us to be part of his studio, which is kind of like it's a mixture between sort of like a recording deal and an education deal. So it's through a company called Mass, and they basically take on young bands, and I mean you can be an older band as well, but you'd have to pay. So young bands under I think it's 19 that are still in full-time education can come down to this studio. There's loads of them dotted around the UK for free, and you get free recording once a year, free photo shoots, free promo, basically everything you'd get in a recording deal or everything you'd want to be looking at to promote your music. You get it all for free, and it's all paid for by the government. So
Really?
That's good.
that's been so good through lockdown, because when the government says, "Oh, this can open," we're open. When the government says, "Oh, you can do this," we can do this. So it's been a really good place to just go and escape once a week. Recently, obviously, with the schools being shut, it's been shut, but it was open all through Christmas and everything. When the shops are shut, it's still open, which is great.
So are you able to rehearse or record?
Yeah.
Like what? Okay.
So the band, the original band, started splitting up in probably like April of 2020 because of COVID. Our first guitarist left, which is fair enough. It was sort of on the downfall for a while, but I was like, this is not going to be the end of it. So we got another guitarist. We were aware that he was in like 3 other bands, and he was like, but I will help you out. Obviously, again, COVID got the better of all of that, and we actually ended up losing the drummer, the guitarist, and the other guitarist. So we ended up using 3 of us, leaving me, the singer, and amateur guitarist, and the bassist, who obviously had only been playing for like a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And we were
lineup.
Yeah, exactly. And we were on the search for a little bit. We were like, what are we going to do? We're not giving up. We're not giving up. And 2 of my close mates from primary school messaged me. One of them I'm still really close with, but one of them I hadn't spoken to in years. So I was a little bit like, haha, this is a bit strange. But I remember both of them being incredible musicians at like the age of 8. That I was like, okay, this could really work if we all got along. Anyway, we met up, had a date at Mass, and it just has rocketed from there. And now we've got a recording day booked, finally, after 2.5 years of trying to get music done. But yeah, and we're all on the same page as well, which I'm really, really pleased about. So
who are the members?
So there's me, and then there's Ben Shardlow. We've got who's the bassist. We've got William Finch, who is the drummer, and Jack Chesney, who is the guitarist. And Jack's actually currently got some music out, so go check out his Spotify, guys. Jack Chesney.
Oh, sick.
So yeah, he's doing really, really well. He's a brilliant guitarist. So I'm really, really pleased that it's sort of like a blessing in disguise, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as much
I think
as
everything happens for a reason in life. Like,
yeah.
You know, all these things happen, and now you've got all your band members, you're going through like a growth stage as lockdown's going to lift, so you're only going to keep going up from there now. So
exactly,
I feel like it all happened for a reason, and you guys are going to come out stronger from it. And you've got like, you know, lockdown's lifting, you can get in studios again, you can get recording. Hopefully we'll go back to playing live music soon as well. Obviously honestly, that's still on the cards, but
well, that's the thing as well. We haven't done a live gig with the new band. We're just at the moment just a rehearsing band. We haven't actually we haven't actually done a gig. So
you just got to tell your mates, we are good, I promise.
Yeah,
but we're only good to our, you know, in the rehearsal room.
That's the thing.
But
have
we've
you got
completely swapped? Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, have you like has your music style changed with as you had?
Yeah,
these
I was
new
just about to say
come?
that. So at first it was very sort of indie rock when we first started.
Yeah, I was going to say it was quite indie rock.
Sure, you remember. It was sort of Catfish and the Bottlemen, Arctic Monkeys inspired. That's all we sort of played. Was Arctic Monkeys, Catfish at the Bottom, and which was great because the audience obviously know their songs. Then we started bringing in our own songs and finding other bands, and our style started to change ever so slightly, but still sticking down the main indie route, because the three original members, other than myself, Jed, Josh, and Damien, all of them have really close ties to indie music. They love their indie music. So a lot of that came from, and I was very new to that sort of style of music. Obviously, being a musical theatre student, I would be around a lot of musical theatre music a lot of the time. And I grew up around sort of like the casual rock stuff. So for me, hearing indie music, I found it really, really interesting. And then as the journey's gone on and we've lost members, gained members, we've sort of created our own style, if that makes sense. Because now you've got Finchy and Jack. Jack's music taste is everywhere. He's a huge rock star, but he also loves like drum and bass and drill and stuff, which is he'll just listen to it in the car, right? So that's him. That's his little bit. There's my little bit I just discussed. Ben is a big indie fan, so that's his little bit. And then Finchy is a massive like Bon Jovi, the original big rock star fan. So all of it's sort of all of it's come together, and we have some really in terms of music, we have some really laid back, really nice pieces that are nice and calm. And then on the other hand, we have some proper like bloody Highway to Hell sort of style music, and then you'd have Cocoon style music like Catfish, and it's just everywhere, but it works. And I think that's really good because we can appeal to so many different audiences, and I've learned that across the time of performing as well, is what people do and don't like. And it's just trying to teach Jack and Will that, because they're very talented musicians and have done performing before, but never in a band situation in front of people who I have watched firsthand, my close friends, walk out on songs they don't know, or walk out on our originals. So we've been really trying to get originals done people are going to like, to captivate the audience and keep them staying.
Yeah.
Really. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, what I found as well is, as long as you guys like it, there will be an audience for sure.
Yeah. Because exactly.
If you enjoy it, people can sense if a band is into something. I mean, I can definitely sense if I see an act live and they're very much like controlled by the label or whatever. I mean, I'm not saying labels are controlling, but there are definitely bands that fall into, they find something that works for an audience and they stick to that, and then all of a sudden they're just like rinse and repeating everything.
Yeah.
And then it sounds like just a little bit washed out, and you can tell that they don't enjoy it. But bands that truly love it, like you can see when Catfish perform live,
so good.
They are loving life when they perform.
Yeah.
Like they're just running around, they're just jumping up on all of their like their backdrops and stuff. I remember when I saw them, the guy, what's the singer called?
Ban McCann.
Ban McCann.
How could you not know? Are you even my boyfriend?
It's a name.
I mean, I remember he walked up onto this like massive pillar and just like threw his guitar, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
No, it's the confidence.
What is he doing?
That's the really hard thing. When I first started, and Amy, I feel like you probably remember, I sort of just stood there, and I was like, "Bet you look good on the dance floor."
Stop.
And it was a bit. It was so
I do
awkward.
remember.
And then
I do remember
watching my videos on my phone and stuff. Over time, you see me go from sort of standing there with a mic to standing there jigging up and down, to then doing a little kick on the "well, I bet that you look," and go do a little pop, and then now it's just completely changed. You've got, for example, when we performed with Kiss Currency at the Phoenix Bar. That gig was nuts, because that was our last gig before everything shut down. And I think everyone sort of had that in their mind a little bit. They were like, this could be the last sort of thing." So we did it, and it was crazy, because the audience then, as they come with you and grow, they don't care about performing with you. They don't care about going nuts, screaming, shouting, anything like that. So we have mosh pits and everything like that we didn't have in the first place. And it's great because it helps you as a performer hugely, because it will make you, it just gives you so much
you
more
get a
confidence.
kick off
it. Exactly.
Yeah.
The kick off the audience you get when performing is incredible. And Luke, I don't know about you, because obviously you're behind the kit or behind a guitar and stuff, and you'd be concentrating a lot more. But as a lyricist and a vocalist, it's so much easier to get stuck in with the audience because the lyrics become second nature, if that makes sense. For example, if you're driving a car and a song comes on, you know the lyrics to the song, you're going to say it because it's just in your head. It's like the instinct.
Exactly.
And with music, performance, it's the same thing. Get the song stuck in your head, the performance will come easy, then you just enjoy yourself. And
exactly,
that's what I'm really trying to, and what I will be trying to bring when we get back to performing, is that extra level of oomph. Obviously not smashing my guitar on the floor, ripping my t-shirt off and going absolutely nuts, but the development from standing in front of a microphone to performing, like they're two different things. They're singing and then they're performing.
Yeah,
and you've got to find your niche.
You've got a whole stage to use. You might as well make the most of it. Like fill your space, make most of it, because you might feel like you're being over energizing, but it's like in drama, you have to, because obviously I studied drama just like you have to kind of overdo it a bit, and then to make
it
the
never
audience,
comes across that way.
Yeah,
though, does
it never comes
it
across that way.
like
You feel like you're overdoing it slightly, but to the audience, you're actually not.
Yeah.
And then when they see you kind of overdoing, they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll get a move on. I'll get dancing." But you just kind of have to put yourself out there in that vulnerable position. And then first of all, the audience might be a bit dry and not giving you back, but by like another 2 songs in, they're giving it to you. A few drinks go down. Yeah. They're going to be, great. Getting into it, and then it's definitely, that's the way to go.
I remember with that show we did as well, like when I was playing with Kiss Currency and you were before us, is that right?
Well, like, I think we were 1 or 2
main
before,
support.
I think.
But I remember I was a bit like worried in a way, because I saw you guys go on and there was like a big crowd. I was in the crowd. I was vibing out, just like moshing away. And I'm like, this crowd is insane right now. But I was thinking, like, obviously these songs like are covers. I think the majority were covers, or maybe you had some originals.
We had like 3
So I'm thinking, they're all singing along. Yeah, everyone was singing along. I was like, oh, damn, like, these guys are going to play up my band like any day. Like, because the crowd are absolutely loving it. I was worried, like, as soon as my band come on, they're just going to be like, right.
Do you know what it is?
But no, people were enjoying it, and like, yeah, there was like mosh pits for our songs, and like we'd never performed our songs before, all original stuff, and yeah, that was just a fun one.
So the difficult thing with performing is controlling other people. You can never ever control someone that's not yourself. So as a performer, it's really hard when you've gone, okay guys, we're performing today, come along, see us, and you have your regular fan base, which I'm really scared that we won't have anymore because of the band splitting. They obviously, as someone leaves, they will take 3 others with them, and then that will obviously get smaller and smaller. But then obviously with just 2 people coming back in, they may not bring as much, so it's going to be interesting to see. But one of the biggest things is keeping the audience, which is not in your control. It's completely up to the audience if they stay for the next person or if they don't. And that's really scary because you're like, I feel so bad. I've brought 50 people, 100 people to this gig, and 20 of them stayed. That's like, do I class that as really disrespectful, or do I class that as, okay, fair enough, they've come to see me, thank you for coming to see me. But I mean, it was this other band's gig. So you're in a really sticky situation in terms of keeping an audience, and I know exactly how you feel with that, because we've opened for bands like Retroactive, who are now named Off Party, but we've done gigs for them before, and you watch their audience walk out on your originals or your set list. Some people will love it, some people will stay for all of it, and I'm that sort of person that will just be there for the music, no matter who's playing. Like, it could be,
me too.
You could turn up, we could play heavy metal, and you could turn up and play bloody ballroom music, and I'd still be there. I might be dancing, taking the piss with ballroom music, but I'm still there. So
exactly,
that is one of the biggest worries I think about the whole thing is keeping the audience there, and it's not necessarily your fault. It's not your music. It's just the human personality has the attention span. I read the other day the attention span of a human in 2020 was 12 seconds. And now in 2021, it's something like, I think it's like 7.8. And then they were like, and fun fact, the attention span of a goldfish is actually 8.3. So the human attention span is dipping, which is not.
Do you know what I feel like as a part of that is like TikTok, because like you see like 3 seconds of video and you have enough and you swipe off to the next one. If it doesn't capture you in that first 3 seconds, then it's pointless.
Yep.
It like same with songs. If the intro is too long in a song, you'll just skip to the next one. You need to go straight in with like, capture them at the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's what you were saying about nerves as well, Luke. If any performer, no matter who they are, like they could be Ed Sheeran, right? Or they could be Billy from next door. If they get on a stage, everyone is going to feel the same. Everyone will always feel nervous, no matter what they say. They could have done it 100 times, they could have done it once. Everybody has that initial, especially as a vocalist. Again, I don't know about instrumentalists, but any vocalist will tell you that, this is easy. I'm chill. I'm going on. But there is always going to be that feeling in your stomach of, what if they don't like it? What if I mess up? And anyone's going to be like that because it's just human instinct. So
human nature.
If you are a singer and a vocalist, just get past that little bit and find ways to cope and know your lyrics. That was one of my biggest flaws, right? I would get in my lyric book. I'd have a little binder full of lyrics, and then
this is like throwing me back.
I'd put it on the floor because just in case I didn't know the lyrics. Then I forgot the lyrics one gig and went, what's the lyrics? And sort of stood there sheepishly trying to read them, trying to not let the audience know. So my main advice would be know your lyrics and just go for it. Like just push for it.
Yeah.
Right. The first song's going to be scary. You might mess up because you're scared, part of the nerves. But second song in is brilliant. And as an audience, I ask the audience to support anyone who's on the stage, especially the vocalists, because they are their instrument is you in a way.
Yeah.
So you are helping them hugely. Yes, you're helping the other members of the band, but they've got a job to do. They've got to play the music. Our jobs as vocalists are to entertain, to gauge the audience,
to captivate,
and to captivate and bring everybody in, cause these mosh pits, cause these shout outs, and introduce these songs in a way that they're not just going to be like, "Oh, not this again." So and change the way you play songs. For example, when we did perform, we played Mr. Brightside, but we didn't want to play it as Mr. Brightside, so we played it double speed, which it was difficult.
Blimey.
Yeah, but the audience loved it because it was a whole new experience, and from what I can see from the videos and everything, and from what I've been told, they enjoy it a lot more because it's something new that you wouldn't normally get with anybody else, which is really nice about music, is you can put your own sort of twists on it.
Exactly. I feel like going back to nerves quickly, I think it's really good to take that kind of like little bundle of nerves that you got as a ball and then put that into your performance. So I feel like quite a few kind of people, not just in music but in life, they take that bundle of nerves and they just keep thinking about it. They don't use it. Whereas if you take it and you use it to put it into your performance and use it as an energy source, it gets it out quicker and it stops you looking like a bit less kind of awkward. I feel like that's what a lot of people need to take from this is use your nerves. Learn your lyrics and use your nerves.
Yeah, I think you made a really good point in just being prepared.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only ever been an instrumentalist, but preparation is absolutely key for a better performance,
Yeah, well, like when you feel prepared, you feel more confident because you feel ready to take on something. it's like if you go to school and you've got your bag already the night before for the morning, you feel a bit more confident going in because you're starting off right. If you make your bed, you're starting off right, you're prepared. You feel better to take on whatever it is that you're taking on. And I think that's, so important. Allow an extra hour to get ready, make the time. Don't leave it to the last minute so you're rushing around. Have all your gear ready to go out the door because, those things build up and it'll make you more nervous if you get a bit frustrated, you're in a rush to get out of the door. It's not going to end well.
I also feel like for vocalists as well, it gives them there is minimal setup for a vocalist compared to a drummer. A drummer has to bring a full drum kit and somehow get it to a venue. If they're on the tube, then good luck.
Luke's on a skateboard with all the drums.
With a kick drum on my back. Yeah. But vocalist is like, here you go. I've got my microphone. Yeah. And then it's like nerves are building, and that's all you can think about. While everyone else is just setting up.
Sometimes you don't even use your microphone. So you are the instrument.
You just rock up.
Like, okay. And it's really awkward because you're watching other people set up and they're not really thinking about what's coming next. And you're stood there watching everyone come in and you're like, hello everybody, hello. And it can be so daunting, but you've just got to suppress that and just get on with it.
Exactly.
Because once you start, you never stop. It's the same as like a roller coaster.
Exactly.
If you get on a roller coaster, you might look at it and go, nope. But as soon as you get on it, you're going to want to go again and again and again.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Yeah.
But preparation.
Preparation's key.
Confidence.
You've got to be bored of your material, essentially, because no matter how prepared you think you are, you can always be more prepared.
Exactly.
You can always. I've a million times rocked up to a gig and I'm like, I got this. We rehearsed it earlier. It's fine, absolutely fine. Play it on the night. I'm like, I had no idea what chord I'm playing next.
Literally, we could have like 4-hour rehearsals the day before a gig, or a 2-hour rehearsal the day of the gig, just to make sure, and then still mess up the intro. It's just
exactly.
For example, when we performed at prom, it was completely my fault. I sang the wrong lyrics to Brian Storm by Arctic Monkeys. Great song. It was great, but I was so in the zone of having all of my friends in front of me, and even people who weren't my friends, I say, and they were in front of me, still loving my music, yet had either never spoken to me, had bullied me, or been a bit of a dick throughout school, or anything like that. Everyone was just, obviously there was some people that were just like, no, I'm not going in for that, and then going outside, but maybe actually sitting there going. But
bopping along self-consciously.
Seeing people in front of me who had never been to a gig before, you have the regular few who love your music, know what you're doing, but performing for the teachers that were at prom, the students that were at prom that, like I've just said, hadn't seen us before or judged us and didn't quite realise that what we were doing was good and fun. They always, obviously people always have that attitude of, oh, you've started a band, well that's going to be crap. Oh, you're doing this, why are you doing that? You're a weirdo. That sort of seeing those people suddenly change their mind was so captivating that I then lost where I was, because I was so in it with them, I'd completely forgotten what the hell I was doing. And sometimes I feel like that happens for bigger artists as well. So if you do find yourself losing yourself, don't worry about it, because a lot of the time the audience will completely understand. Like if I was jumping around with my audience and then missed the cue, and I go, and they're all just gonna be like, it's all right, don't worry about it. But if you show oh no, I've messed up, they're gonna be like, oh well, that was.
The thing.
They're instantly gonna think, he hasn't put in the time for this.
Yeah, but as well, I feel like when, obviously with covers it's a bit more noticeable, but when you're doing original songs, they're not the people that wrote the songs. They don't actually know if you mess up most of the time, because you don't. It's like when I talk about teaching and stuff. If a teacher messes up, the students, they're not going to know, because they're the ones learning as well. So they're learning about it. They don't know that you planned it to go like that. They don't know what your plan is. So they don't know if you've actually done wrong, because they haven't been at rehearsals with you. That's the good thing about
originals is
but they
get away with it.
Yeah, they haven't been at rehearsals with you to know how it's actually meant to go. So it's like you can kind of get away with it. I think a little bit there. But, and you could, and like you said, as long as you kind of play it off cool, they won't kind of. It's when you get flustered over it, that's when you kind of mess up more, make more mistakes. Well. Yeah, so that's the thing. Whereas if you just go with the roll, jump on the next beat, it will, just play it off.
The amount of times I've dropped my drumstick or it snapped, and I'm like, bruh, I have not. I can't even find my other. Yeah. I thought I left my spare one here, but I'm like, oh no. Yeah. No, you just have to improvise, don't you? Just keep that backbeat in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I wanted to touch on some of the teaching stuff you've been doing.
Yes.
Because obviously with lockdown, teachers obviously have been going online. How have you found this? So what do you actually teach? Do you want to do a quick description?
I work at HW Drums in Princess Risborough, and we teach primary school kids basic music and maths. So we teach them, for example, drums. Anyone who knows drums, the basic beats are 4, 8, and 16 beats. Which basically make up most songs you will hear, and we teach them different. Go away, Siri. Sorry. We teach them many different beats. Some people want to do grade books, so we just teach them sheet notation and grade books and stuff. But for example, if I had a 5-year-old student, 6-year-old student, I teach them a very basic beat and get them to say 2 + 2 is 4. 4 + 4 is 8, and they'd get into the rhythm of doing the mental maths and the performance. Some kids, they choose not to do any of the maths. Fair enough. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I can't
do that.
I'm very much okay with not doing the maths in a lesson. Because I like teaching the music. It's fun, and because we teach beginners, I am obviously still learning most instruments myself. So I can learn as I teach, which is really nice. And I can spend time with these kids telling them how my experiences are. And because I'm a student, I can tell them I didn't practice as a kid. I didn't. But now being a teacher and being a musician, I understand the importance of doing so. And I think as kids, they respect that a lot more, having a younger person teaching them, giving them actual life advice, rather than an older person who is a teacher going, do this, do that, do your own work, go practice at home, because they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. I didn't do it, and no one ever will, right? And
no.
But my respect for teachers has soared, because I love the kids I work with. They're brilliant, but my God, can they be a pain? But that's because they're kids. That's just what's going to happen. And lockdowns really tested that as well. So
school teachers are champions.
Yeah,
I honestly don't know how to do it. I taught a class. It was probably I want to say 17 kids
at once.
At once.
Yeah,
and it was bongos, percussion instruments, shakers, tambourines, etc., and ukuleles. And I'm thinking, okay, I've got it all prepared out. I just see this 17 kids walking at once, and I'm like, hi guys, I'm Luke, and they kind of listen for 1 second, and then it's like, oh, a bongo!
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, no! I've got to be here for an hour.
Yeah.
And it was, oh mate, I had to wear earplugs in the end.
Have you been doing online teaching, Luke?
Yes.
How are you finding it?
I mean, eventually, I thought it was all right, because I feel like they're quite focused. I mean, when they're at school, or if they're at my house, they're looking around all the time.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
But when they're at home, they already know their bedroom. They've been in it every single day, and they're probably paying more attention, probably because the internet isn't probably so good. So they're probably listening a bit harder to hear what you actually are trying to say.
Agree.
So it's not just like bah, bah, bah.
Some kids like to test the boundaries, though. Yeah. Have you found that at all?
They do.
Some people are like, I've got Wi-Fi issues, and you're like, no, you don't. No, you don't. And I think we've just gone back in-house, because obviously education facilities are now opening back up again. And we've just started in-house again, and some students really struggle doing stuff online, which is fair enough. And I've got a bit of a mix, because I teach piano, drums, and guitar, and all three of them are so different instruments to teach online. For example, drums is great if they know what they're doing. If they don't know how to read sheet notation, and if they've only just started, it's really difficult, because
I can't imagine.
So much easier being in-house, because you can go, this is a snare, this is a crash, this is a high tom, and this is what they look like on a sheet notation, and write it on the whiteboard. You can't do that online because you could either share your screen and it be unclear because you can't actually like directly point to stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just confusing.
Yeah.
Guitar's the same, really. If they don't know what they're doing, it's really difficult. If they know what they're doing, then it's sort of got to the point where you don't necessarily need to be taught, if that makes sense. Like 100%. If you've got the techniques down and everything like that, obviously there's the improvement aspect of it, but you've got the basics. So it's a much easier lesson. Whereas with piano, again, if you again know what you're doing, it's fine. But if you've got, for example, sorry, my computer's just gone really loud. I can hear that.
Is that your computer making that sound?
Yeah.
Dude, I literally thought there was a race car outside your house.
I thought it was an aeroplane taking off.
I'm trying to pay attention, but I'm hearing this sound. So I'm like,
it's because it's great, but it's basically I do animation at college and what I'm doing at uni, and we like custom built this PC laptop so it was portable, which is great. Like it is one of the best things. It's got the most crazy specs and everything like that, but because it's trying to do so much in such a small little thing, the fan is crazy. It's always going. I can't like watch a YouTube video without it going. So and it sounds like a Hoover. The amount of times I'm playing a game with my mates and they go, sorry, the car's started again, and it's so annoying. But I'm trying to get some cooling fans and stuff like that because it's
you're gonna need some hefty cooling thing on that to keep it under control.
It's very annoying. But yeah, like I was saying, it's very difficult sometimes online. And like I was saying with piano, if you've got the notes on the piano, you can tell them which ones to press, and it's fairly simple. But because we teach beginners, it can actually be very, very difficult because
I think you have to have a few. You have to have some of the terminology down. Like they've got to know what frets are, got to know your finger numbers and how to hold a pick if they're using one, and various things. And if you're not there to help them, and the one I found the most, you probably have had this as well, is the damn guitar tuning. Their guitar, I'm like, okay, can I just hear your open strings quick? And they go, and I'm like,
and it's like, no, it's in tune, I promise. I'm like, no, it's not. I promise it's not.
I tuned it last month, I promise.
I tuned it this morning. So, but did you play with the little bits at the end? Yeah, I was twisting them. Well, that's why. Like,
so they tuned it to your
You
your fan
actually
on your
made
computer.
like a PowerPoint recently on how to
it's called
prepare.
a YouTube video, Amy.
No, you made a PowerPoint. No. You did include a video, but you made a PowerPoint on like things to prepare for your like drum lesson, guitar lesson. It's like make sure your instrument's tuned.
I did,
Use this like app, and it's like Guitar Tuner.
Yeah.
And it was like in capital letters, make sure it's tuned. It was like that passive aggressive where it's like all very nicely in bright colours for kids, but make sure you tune it.
You find you can lose so much time because in person, like before COVID, it'd be like, oh yeah, your guitar sounds, just pass it over here, and I'll just ding, 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 and it's in. But presume it's like, okay, yeah, so that first string, could you pluck that for me? Yeah, just a bit higher, and they just go.
Yeah.
They just twist it. You're like, no, not that much.
Takes like 10 minutes when it's a 20-minute lesson, and then that's it. You just start.
How long are your lessons, Luke? How long are they?
Well, with XYZ, the school ones are 20 minutes. Okay. Apart from one school, which is half an hour. All of our private lessons are either half an hour, an hour.
So yeah, we do an hour because we do, obviously, like I said,
if you're doing maths
your choice
as well.
of instrument, a little bit of maths, and then we also include games. That's one of the biggest parts of our teaching. Is doing maths through games, so it's not a school, it's fun after school club that's not going to learn stuff.
Yeah,
kids, you're not going to want to do that. Exactly. So it's appealing to those. Again, it's appealing to the audience, and this time the audience isn't a fan base in front of you; it's kids, and you've got to completely switch up how you would do stuff if you were speaking to adults. Because if you were to tell an adult to tune it, they would do it a hell of a lot quicker than a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
So
teaching children is so hard. So I used to work in a riding school, a horse riding school, and we used to specifically work with a special needs school. So if you think teaching kids without disabilities is hard, imagine trying to communicate something to someone that doesn't understand normal communication anyway.
Especially with a live animal.
That is really hard.
Throw a live animal in the mix.
Yes.
That could be quite interesting.
They do say don't work with children or animals, so I decided to work with both at the time. But it was like stressful because you would have to try and, there's these children that hate you. Like when I say they hate you, I mean they hate you when they first come. Okay.
Some people really don't like it.
Everything.
Or it's just some people hold grudges for no reason. Yesterday I had a student, and I've had him before, and he was online. He was just such a nuisance. He was leaving the lessons, joining them again, leaving them, going to play Fortnite. I'm like, mate, no, you need to do your lesson. It was a cover lesson. Anyway, he comes in house yesterday. I'm doing a cover. He walks in and goes, I don't like you. And I was like,
blimey.
He was like, I don't like you. I'm not having you. I was like, okay. So some of them can be really difficult in terms of that. So you just need to block that out and just forget.
Yeah.
Oh, these kids. Oh, this kid. Oh. But
you'll be burning inside, but you just got to be like, okay, well, let's carry on.
Yeah.
But
ignore the comments.
So, that's the thing. You have to block it out because we worked with these kids, so they had to come through us through this school. And they were in year 6, so we worked with them for a year. And you know what? From day one, where they wouldn't talk to me, I couldn't even get them near a horse, till the very end, me like literally crying because they weren't going to see me again at like the end of the year, not wanting to see the horse. Honestly, it's like the most like
rewarding.
So rewarding, and it's like that is why you do it. But the hard work you have to put in to be able to kind of communicate in a different way, because like if we just talk like amongst ourselves, we have a way of talking, but then as soon as a child, you've got to try and break that down in a way. And it's like, some children aren't going to understand anything you say, like our terminology and everything is just much higher, like the way we speak. So you have to break down things so much to the point where it's actually quite challenging for us to be able to break it down to like a certain level. And you're like, it's kind of challenging to do from like an adult perspective, like to break down what you're saying. And it's like, how can I make this for a child to understand, where it's just like second nature to us for some things? It's definitely challenging, but it's rewarding at the same time, I think.
Do you find that they all wanted to be there? Because for me, with being a music teacher, Luke, I don't know if you feel the same. A lot of, like, if you were to ask someone who went to a British school, probably any school in the world, have you ever played an instrument or learned an instrument? The majority of them will say yes. Was that your choice? Some of them will say no. And that, unfortunately, is the thing about music, is some kids don't want to be there. Their parents want them to play music. Because it could be, oh, I want you to be a musician. Oh, I'll just have a go. So some people hate being there. But when you get those kids that want to be there and that try and that love being in your presence, it is so rewarding and it is so easy. And that is one of the biggest things I love about my job, is having those kids who you build like this connection with. You know how they want to learn. You know what interests them. You know what doesn't. So my boss might go, "Can you do this today?" And I'm like, "No, because I do this today, then that next week, because otherwise they won't pay attention." And he's like, "Okay, yeah, fair enough." So it's just, again, the audience. Making the audience
I think that's so important that you kind of change things for students, like, because I think the education system has such like a set way of how you're meant to learn. Teachers that go and change it, I think, are the best teachers, because they make it engaging for you. They tailor it so that you will learn it eventually, but they tailor it so you learn it at the rate you can learn. Because especially for like, I struggled academically a lot in school. Like, most people know me as the loud one from school. Probably didn't really pay LJAYS, didn't really pay attention. I struggled in school a lot. But apart from with the teachers that changed the way they did their lessons just for me.
Because then it didn't become learning, did it? It became...
Yeah, it became fun. Like, no, definitely. And that, like, those teachers are the ones that always stick with, like, good thoughts in 100%. My head. Like, Mr. Jacobs, did you do geography at all?
I did, yeah. Not for GCSE, but I had him for year 7 and 8. I love Mr. Jacobs.
Best best teacher by far.
He just he explains stuff so well. Like he does things that you just wouldn't understand. For example, geography, right? Rocks, right? They crumble together. Erosion, I think we were doing, and instead of going, this is a rock and this is a rock. If you rub it together, it crumbles. He brings out a bloody cheese grater.
Yeah, I know.
And just stands there at the front of the class going, ah! And rubbing it. He goes, this is what happens over 100 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, any other teacher would just not do that. It would be so boring.
Yeah. Wow.
Just like out of his filing cabinet drawer, he just rolls out this rock and a cheese
The manky
grater.
bit of cheese he's had for 6 years to do that demonstration.
It was so funny. But that was like the only reason I didn't hate school was because of Mr. Jacobs. Otherwise, I just probably wouldn't have turned up in the end.
I think that's what we do really well, though, at work, is getting the kids to...
Audience?
Yeah. Getting the kids to enjoy it, and especially with the games and everything. Like, we've got a pool table. We go and play, for example, they could either choose to do a series of 5-minute games, or we can do a 15-minute pool game. And sometimes we'd go, okay, well, today we're doing square numbers, so let's go play pool, and every ball that gets hit in, you have to square it as quick as you can. So it's putting the game element into the learning, which they love. And that is obviously what I found at school is something that I found really difficult, is not having that fun. It was school, it was learning. So giving them that fun and escape doesn't make it learning anymore. It makes it fun after school activity where you can go and mess around and obviously learn at the same time. But yeah.
So going on like a different subject now, you are studying animation, you mentioned at college, right? And you want to study at uni as well.
Yes.
What kind of like got you into like animation and all of that kind of stuff?
To be fair, I can't actually remember. From what I know, it was 2006 and Cars came out in the cinema, and it was the first film that I remember going to watch. And ever since then, my mum has just told me that I wanted to be an animator. I wanted to make films.
That's it.
And it's literally, obviously, that's what I've been told. But in my head, I can always just remember. Obviously, I've gone, oh, I want to be a pop star. I want to be an actor.
Yeah.
And in life, I've gone, and especially with the band, my attitude's always been, I'm not going to pursue this to the point where this is going to be my career, and I jeopardise my dream. So, for example, if I got a record deal now, a huge one, I'd still go to uni to learn animation because that is my passion and my dream. But I'd always have this on the side. My attitude with music has been, if it takes off, it takes off. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And with animation, I've wanted to do it for so long. It just interests me. There's so much stuff that goes into it, and I'm such a film nerd. I don't know why. It just makes me.
I was gonna say
happy.
you love like Disney and like Pixar. Like I love like the only films I watch pretty much are Disney and Pixar movies.
Yeah.
You won't like. Luke has to sit with me through them quite a lot on a Disney Plus all the time. Like I think just the way they're created, but it's like years and years
so
go
creative.
into making them.
Some films
like,
can be
the patience
7 years
you gotta
in a
have.
pipeline, and a lot of people don't understand the tech of animation as well. So, for example, you have to, with an animation, it's all done in frames per second. So animation is done anywhere between 20 to 40 frames per second. It's mainly normally 30 frames per second. And their frames per second is an image every second. So it's a little bit like stop motion animation, which is a picture taken and then put together to make a sequence. These are done, Pixar and Disney, they do it on big, huge computers, and they make it all in 3D, which is what I do. And we have to export them and render them, which means you apply all the textures, you put all the modeling, you shove it all into one thing, and then you export it as these frames. Then you import them into an editing software, and they become a video. And for some films, for example, Toy Story 4 took 3 years to render alone, let alone the modeling, the creation, the character, the story, everything. Toy Story 4 was a 7-year working process, and no one knew it until 2 years beforehand. And that's what I love, is they are currently working on films we have no clue are even in existence, but they could have been working on them for 2 years. And I love the industry. If you go and if people are interested in Pixar and Disney, and I know you might think, oh, you like Disney, ooh. Go and have a look at some of the stuff online. Go and have a look at studio tours.
Insane.
Studio tours of Pixar. The Pixar in campus is incredible. It's one of the best working places ever. You will never find anywhere else like it. You can ride scooters down the hallway while going to get... It's like Google, if anyone's ever seen what Google's like.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Insane.
Do you know what, like, I think is really incredible is how they keep it quite kind of like modern, even though they start it like years in advance. They still manage to make the storyline like to date with kind of like the years, which I think must take like a lot.
And that's why all Disney films are timeless, aren't they? You could watch a Disney film from 2005 and it's still great because they probably started it in the year 2000 or something, you know, so they have to cater to think, actually, this isn't coming out for like another 5 years, so it's got to be relevant.
It's crazy watching the development of animation as well. So Disney and Pixar are different studios, for anyone who's confused. Disney's a big company. They own Disney Animations, who make who've made everything from Snow White in, I think it was like 1930 or something like that, all the way up to the most recent one, Raya and the Last Dragon, which came out like yesterday. And then there's Pixar, which made Toy Story. They started in 1995. That was their first feature. And then they've made everything up to Soul, which is the newest film. And then there's DreamWorks.
Did we watch Soul?
Yeah, we watched that.
Soul's good, isn't it? Soul was good.
I couldn't believe how good that film was.
What a year to release it as well. It was a good film. I liked it.
It was really good.
But yeah, so Disney own huge amounts of stuff. Fox, Marvel, Star Wars, anything you see on Disney Plus, that's Disney. And then there's Disney Animation. And watching the development across the years, for me, brings me so much like satisfaction. So 1995 Toy Story, look at the characters, right? They will, for example, Andy is in Toy Story, for anyone who hasn't watched, is like the owner of said toys. And he was at the time technology advanced. I don't know how to say that. Technologically advanced. He was so technologically advanced that they got the same character, pasted him 9 times in a scene, and put a different color T-shirt on him because they just didn't have the tech. And now in Soul, you have up to 3,000 individually animated and modelled characters that are all textured, rendered, lit, got their own skin. Anything, all different personalities, all different ways of life, walking, jobs, backgrounds. And the difference in that, watching it over the years from 1995 to now, is crazy. Like, that brings me so much joy, and finding all these little elements in films is a massive thing for me. That's one of the reasons I love film, is hiding. They're called Easter eggs, and it's just hidden things in films from other films. So, for example, Pixar like to include an Easter egg to their future film in their past film. So, for example, in Finding Nemo, in Monsters Inc., you can find Finding Nemo, a little toy, and those little things. There's such a big community for doing that. Yeah, and, like you say, it's cool, and people love it.
The little girl of like Monsters Inc. is in something else. I can't remember what it is, but she's like in the background.
Toy Story 3.
Oh, yeah.
Marvel are known for doing the same, aren't they?
Yeah.
So
linking the comic books together is just
a lot of studios are, and a lot of films. For example, Indiana Jones. Obviously, Harrison Ford plays the main role in both films. Well, a main role in both films. And there's a scene in Indiana Jones where he's reading some hieroglyphics, and if you look to the left of where he's reading, there's a carved R2-D2 and C-3PO. And there's just little things like that chucked in movies which bring myself and millions of other people so much joy. And that's why I want to be an animator, is I want to bring the emotion and I want to captivate audiences. That's why I like performing as well, is because I want people... I love bringing people emotion, if that makes sense. As cringy as it sounds, that is one of my biggest things, is I love watching people... Either watching people watch something that I've created, or watching people watch me creating something.
Yeah,
that is such.
You like
a big
leaving
reward.
an impact.
Yeah, and that
like
is
my most important thing is like I've always known that I want to leave an impact on every person's life that I come across. Like I want to have an effect on their day. I think that's why I love my job role at the gym, is because I'm the first face that they see when they start their day. And it's like I set how their rest of the day is going to be by just how I greet them.
Yeah.
And I
if
think
you're moody, they're going to be like, oh God.
Yeah, exactly. Like you just have to, you impact their life, and then they're always going to remember like how you are as a person. They'll be like, oh, that's Amy. She's always super bubbly and has like crazy hair or whatever.
I'm curious to know what kind of stuff. Curious to know what kind of stuff you are animating. What kind of stuff are you interested in making?
So I've always wanted to work for Pixar, like I've said. So I do 3D animation. I create 3D scenes in projects called Maya. There's a software called Maya, which is used in industry, and you basically start with circles or spheres, because it's all 3D. Spheres, cubes, or cones and things like that. You then pull them, push them, put them all together, and you make scenes effectively. And you then give them textures, you light them, and then you also have the option of creating a character, so modeling them, and then animating them, which is quite difficult because obviously realistic movement, trying to make something move realistically. For example, if I were to take this figure of Iron Man, I don't know why I have this on my desk, and I was to try and move him 100% correctly, something would look off. So you've got to have you've got to just do it again and again and again and again and again and again and again, and sometimes that can be such a pain, but the end result is so rewarding. So
have a lot of patience.
So if you want to go and check it out, go check out my YouTube channel, which is Ljay Yarroll, which is literally just my full name, which you can see on the screen there.
We'll tag it in.
Thank you. And then I've got loads of animation stuff on there from my college projects, and then hopefully when I go to university, I'll be making a hell of a lot more. So,
how many things have you made?
So we aim to do sort of 3 projects a year. COVID's been a bit strange, so last year we only did 2, and then we did a game.
And you say we, like who is we?
The college. So we've got my
so is it like
course.
A collaborative effort with within the students?
So we can choose to collaborate, and there was a collaborative project in our first year, but we all wanted to kill each other, so we decided we're not going to do that. So I this year have just worked by myself to create as much as I can with the resources I have and the time periods. So we might have 2 months to create and something. Some people will come out with a 5-second animation. I like to really put an effort in because this is what I want to do. So I put in so much effort and come out with a 1-minute 30 piece. So you get so many different things that I create, and I love it.
Yeah, I saw one that you did of a there was like a vending machine.
Yeah.
With a turtle or something.
Yeah, so that was my most recent project. We had 2 months to create a some sort of channel ident or advertisement. So an ident is like what you'd see before a TV show. So for example, hi, you're watching Disney Channel, and now you're watching insert TV show here. Or we could choose an advertisement. And I was originally going to do an ident, but because of COVID, I had my PC actually broke, so we had to go send it off, and I had to do it on like the Windows equivalent of an iPad. It's called a Surface Pro, which was really difficult to do it on. And I ended up coming out with an advert for a brand, Notrovic, which is, there's loads of background history, I won't go into it, but effectively I wanted to create a 3D animated scene, and I didn't have the time to create a character, so I took a free rig from online. A rig is like a fully functional character that you can move. And I took a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle because I thought it reflected the comedy of the piece, and I chose the orange turtle, Michelangelo, who is like the comedic turtle out of all of them. It was, I look back at it was a very random, impulsive decision, but it was to demonstrate that I can 3D animate characters and 3D animate scenes. The scene was my main focus, and then because of my tech issues, it ended up getting bugged, so the animation of the character isn't quite how I wanted it, it's a bit in places. For example, when he punches the vending machine, it's a bit like robotic when it was supposed to be fluid. But because I didn't have the facilities to do so, I couldn't do it how I wanted it. But that was my last project, and I love doing it. So yeah.
It must take so much computer power as well, and the sheer time
it's
put
crazy.
in is just absolutely insane. Like I watch a Disney film, for instance, and the whole time I'm barely even thinking about the storyline. I'm just looking at it like, damn, this must have taken hours. Like you're seeing like, I just don't understand how they move it. It's like it's as if they're filming a real life
go
thing,
and
it's
look
cartoon.
into if anyone's interested, go and have a look online as to what they do. We don't have enough time to talk about it all fully, but go and have a look online if you are interested to look into the animation industry. There are some 10-minute videos. 10 minutes out of your day isn't loads. Go and have a look, and some of the stuff you'll find is crazy. Some of the stuff they do create, say, is just nuts, and that's what drew me into the industry. So if any of you guys want to get into it, have a look at it. There's some good stuff. So yeah,
I haven't got enough time. I'm not gonna lie, it's sick. I absolutely love it. You'll teach me one day.
Oh, 100%.
Well, not one day.
100%.
It'll be various days, but yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good.
I feel like we've covered a lot of good stuff. You're a great talker, my guy.
Yeah, that's
really good
talker. Boys, I like to talk.
I like that you're very specific with dates and stuff.
Yeah, that's good, because I can't ever remember anything. Neither can Luke.
Yeah, I'm glad you remember stuff, LJ. You make up for like us.
Yeah, we're actually both good talkers, like in form. I'd say we just like both of us just da-da-da. You could just imagine like how loud our form room was. Like me and LJ just like shouting, belting at each other, even though we like sat opposite sides of the table, just belting at each other. Was quite loud. But yeah, we'll wrap it up there unless there's anything else you wanna chuck in.
Absolutely perfect. So thank you so much for having me.
We'll tag like all your socials and everything in, and your YouTube like in the description box.
What's your Instagram, your personal Premiere animation?
So
let us know.
I'll let you know. You can put it all in the description. But
if you wanna read it out, because obviously some people are only been listening on Spotify, so
the band is at _ the Premiere _ ThePremiere_. And then the animation is the same as on the screen, is LUIS -JAMES space YARROLL. That's my full name. And yeah, I think that's about it really. You can find my other socials through that. So yeah.
It's been really fun. I think really informative as well.
Yeah.
So this has been episode 6 with LJ.
Yeah.
Thank
thanks.
you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Make sure to follow Tune In with Luke and Amy on YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook.
Everything, you name it.
Literally, eBay, Amazon. Okay, no, not those two. Bye, LJ.